Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another week of Full Pedal Jacket Intimidator Cup Series content. This week, we join you live from the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Yard of Bricks, for our Brickyard 300, sponsored by a number of people, as normal, JCB Excavation, and our buddy William Rice, our good friend Supreme Ape, and of course, our newest sponsor for this week, D&D Plumbing. That's our good buddy Clint Mcgill, and he is with us tonight to qualify. So definitely a big thanks to all of those guys, and we are going to bring you some good racing content.
I'm watching your Charlotte stream right now, guys. Looks good.
So we'll get going here in just a second with qualifying. You saw there a new intro before the stream started tonight, and that was made by Jennings, who is with me. You won't hear him, but he is with me. So definitely a really cool way to get into our content, starting from here on out. And it got me excited, and it'll get me excited the rest of the season, I'm sure. About ready to get into it here, I think. I'm ready to get into it. So, our first qualifier of the evening. It's going to be Jacob Hopp in the 32. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, he goes. All right, Jacob Hopp. In his first start in Full Pedal Jacket, I believe, this week. So, new driver to us. He's run pretty well this week so far in our practice sessions that we've had. We've had a little bit more practice than usual with the new iRacing build that we talked about in detail last week. So, Jacob is going to be the first on the racetrack tonight. Takes a little bit longer to get up to speed here at Indy. Long back and front stretch. 2.5 mile oval. It's not really an oval. So Jacob brings his car off turn number 4. On towards the start-finish line. He'll start his first of 2 laps as usual. Same qualifying format as we have used in previous weeks. Probably get to see tonight guys working the wheel a little bit more than you're used to with these cars. A little bit flatter banking. You have to drive the car a little bit more than we're used to seeing. We'll see some pretty decent speed down the backstretch and the front stretch. Let's see what he gets up to going into 3. Just under 190 miles an hour. If they draft from another car, though, the speed goes up to 95 or so. Similar to a super speedway speed-wise. First lap for Jacob Hopp. First lap of the night of anybody is a 49.697. A really solid first lap for a solo run. See if he can make it even better on his second lap. Pretty good so far. You can kind of see the camera angle we're using. It takes a long time to get down that straightaway. And off into turn 3.
Well, especially the back stretch here.
Oh, yeah. You got to nail 1 and 3 once coming out of those straightaways, especially turn 1. Turn 1 and turn 3 are not the same at all. In fact, all 4 corners kind of drive differently. So it makes it really, really tough on these drivers. Lap 2 for Jacob Hopp. 49.492, so a really solid start to the evening. And that is going to be a lap that stays up near the top of the board, I'm sure. A good first impression for Mr. Hopp there. And our next qualifier is not Zach Camella. I'm not sure who it is. I didn't quite catch the name. It's Nathan Bentley. So it's our first Bentley Motorsports entry of the night, that being Nathan in the number 6 machine, a guy we talked a lot about this year already. Some good runs. He's going to try to put a good lap on the board here. Himself a good starting spot for tomorrow night's race. A good turnout for qualifying tonight. Hopefully another really good turnout for the race like we had last week. So Bentley rolls off of turn 2. His out lap.
Sorry about that, everybody. I forgot to change the volume, so hopefully now we'll actually be able to hear the cars.
Hopefully you're able to still hear me. Hopefully you can still have my oh-so great voice in the background. Ethan Bentley, he'll see the green flag right as he crosses underneath the flag stand. Same colors on that car this week for that entry. He and his entire team, all 5 cars, really running well to start the season so far. Are all within the top 15 in points. Turn 2 on his first lap looks pretty good. And down the long back straightaway we were talking about. This feels like a really, really long time to get down this back stretch into turn 3.
Well, the main reason for that, what you'll notice here while these guys are qualifying and in the race is the wind is actually blowing fairly strongly to the north, so it's working against these guys on the back stretch, but you can look at their speed as they're coming across the front stretch and it actually helps them get down the track, so it's a very interesting dynamic that we have for this race.
Yeah, so driving into the wind on the back stretch makes it take even longer. First lap for Mr. Nathan Bentley's 51.244. On the backstretch on his second of 2 laps. So you'll be able to see right here as he gets off into 3 just how long it takes to get down the backstretch and into 3. Good looking lap here for Nathan. We'll see what the time shows here as he comes off turn 4, comes down to the start finish line. You'll see the checkered flag right there at the line with a 50.378. So nice recovery there on lap 2. It's him in second for the time being. His brother's going to directly follow him, so Nathan and Tyler going right back to back here. Nathan's completed his 2 laps, so we'll give him a second to get off the racing surface. We'll move on to Tyler Bentley. The second Bentley Motorsports entry. And that will take his laps. Maybe. There he goes. Give him a minute. His wheel must have got disconnected. That's what it was. Catastrophic wheel failure. So Tyler rolls out onto the speedway. Another good run for him last week has him in the points lead. He passes his teammate Zach Camella for the points lead. Actually leapfrogs Steve Corsica, we'll see in just a little bit, for the points lead. After a second place run last week. He's been pretty good in practice so far this week, so don't expect anything less than what you've seen out of him already. A pretty good run coming up here for the 55 team, probably, before next week. And if you remember, if you've been with us long enough, you'll remember last time we went to the place we're going next week, that's Bristol. Is really, really good there. So he's hoping for a good run this week to keep him in the points lead before we get to that race. Versus his first lap. Through 1 and 2. long back straightaway for the first of 2 laps. You can tell just how much speed they're picking up. They're still going 189 miles an hour, even against the wind. Let's make turn 3 a little bit easier to enter, but it makes turn 1 really, really treacherous. You'll be able to see it here on his second lap when he's up at full speed. First lap for Tyler Bentley. It's a 49.964. So a solid first lap, throws him in front of his brother. Still about a little under half a second off of Jacob Hopp leading the field right now. Woo! He slid it a little bit there in 3. Now slide off 3 is not the end of the world. If it's off 1 or 3, usually you can recover your lap time. It's off 2 or 4. And you're carrying so much speed through there, you can't really ever recover. Second lap for Tyler, the 49.557. So really close to that pole lap. Like I said, lap for Tyler. And for now, he's just off the pole time. Let him get off the racetrack. Before our next qualifier heads out there, and that is Paul Ferdiani in the 66. Having his first start last week. So I'm up near the front at times.
Thank you.
Start to make his way out onto the speedway. Long speedway, so not as much waiting time as you'd have other places. New paint scheme for him this week. Change up there, red, white, and black. A 66 machine. He'll start his first of 2 when he comes back around here off turn 4. This is a guy I expect to run pretty well. Here as the season goes. So see if we'll hopefully get that going this week. Come down and see the green flag. His first of 2 laps. Loose. So usually you can recover it off 1 and 3 unless you get loose like that, and then...
Yeah, that's the point where you gotta lift real big. Luckily, it's only his first lap.
Hold on to the car. Yeah, a lot better run there through 3, so... Obviously not going to be the first lap time you wanted, but hopefully if he can do it again, replicate that same 3 and 4, it's going to be a good second lap for him. He carries a lot of speed down the front stretch. I mean, a lot of speed. Crossing the start-finish line at around 190 miles an hour. 50.857 for him. On his first lap. Oh, yeah, got through 1 a lot better that time. And gets through 2 a lot better. Already a better-looking lap for Mr. Ferdiani. See if he can replicate 3 and 4 from last lap. Rolls out of the throttle there going into 3. You see it again. He got loose. He's able to hold his momentum off 3 because he didn't get loose off one of these flatter corners 2 or 4. You have to rely so much on momentum to carry you down the straightaway. Second lap for Paul Ferdiani. It is a 50.535, so he does improve on it. It's 4th for the time being. So, a good second lap for him. It's him 4th right now. Next on the speedway, Once Paul leaves the speedway, well, next on the speedway is going to be Adrian Piedra. We saw lead. A lot of laps last week at Charlotte, especially in the long run. First guy to really get the top line rolling. He has been fast again this week. Is looking to be a threat every time we hit the racetrack. These guys like Piedra and Justin Kane, our winner last week, who obviously now is locked in the playoffs, but guys that are a little bit newer kind of are a bit of a hole in points. They're going to have to kind of dig out of it. But judging based on their speed, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Piedra win in the next 3 or 4 weeks, but even if he weren't to win, he's got the speed to make up that ground in points pretty quick. See if he can do just that. Takes the green flag, heads off towards turn 1. Good drive through 1. See if he can do it again here in 2 and bring that speed onto the backstretch. It looks like he'll do just that. See, several different strategies. Some guys tend to take lap 1 a little bit easier, kind of save the stuff for the second lap. The tires go quick here. So some guys opt to get more speed off 4 and save their good lap for their second lap when the tires have a little bit of heat in them. Some just like to go right at it on lap 1. So seems like Piedra is more the latter. He's going for it right here, whereas Tyler Bentley went for it more on his second lap. First lap for Adrian Piedra is a 49.583. It's good for third. This lap already looks better, though. Turn 2 and onto the backstretch. Already more speed down the backstretch. This looks to be a pretty good lap for him. Ooh, I don't know. Wow, he slid it and still got off turn 3 at 180 miles an hour. One of the fastest speeds we've seen. Oh, this is going to be a really good lap. To the start-finish line. Second lap's a 49.365. So send Piedra to the top of the chart. It would look like a solid lap, but wow. An incredible lap for Piedra.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, I'm here. Nice luck.
Next on to the Speedway. It's going to be the first of the Team Fist entries, 2 of which are here tonight. It's Michael Lanfear in the 013. A few solid runs so far this season for the most part. On some stage points. He's in a pretty decent spot in points right now, sitting right around that bubble. They want to be following our North Wilkesboro regular season finale. And he has been already pretty... He's held some pretty decent speed this week as well, so... See what he can do in qualifying. Takes his outlap, slides it big time there in 3, but still holds some pretty good speed, running up off the bottom of the racetrack, maybe trying to save the stuff. Get too low on really cold tires, the back end snaps out. Maybe saving it for right here on his first lap. An exit off turn 1. Really smooth line through turn 2. May have slid it a bit there, though. On the long back straightaway. Is not lifting much, if at all. Slides it big time right there, but like Piedra, holds some really good speed. Come down to the start-finish line to complete lap number 1. Lanfear's first lap is a 49.788. It's in 4th for now. See if he can do better on his second one. Woo! Slid the back end out really, really big there. It again off turn 2. We'll see if he can do it in 3 and 4. Still lots of guys to go after him, so don't go anywhere quite yet. Still lots of cars to hit the speedway tonight. Lanfear off turn 3, headed for turn 4. And to the front stretch. Checkered flag for Michael Lanfear. Let's see if he can improve on his first lap. 49.626, so he does make it just a little bit better. Puts him pretty solidly in the 4th position. So we'll give him just a second to leave racing surface. And next qualifier is going to be DJ Thomas. So DJ, a guy that has run well this season when he's been able to finish a race. Last week saw him lead laps. Looked like he was cruising to a stage win in stage 2. Before he missed the pit entry, found himself in the barrels at the end of pit road. So, not the end he wanted last week, but hopefully he can get it back this week. He's revving the car. I'm seeing that he's revving the car, but he's not going anywhere. Yes. Oh. Oh. Now he takes off. I don't. Alright, well, he finally takes off for his 2 laps. I'm not sure if the car couldn't shift into gear. Oh, maybe he was stuck in neutral. I don't know. Nah, he only revved it 2 or 3 times. Couldn't have been enough to burn any fuel. It wasn't a very good job of burning fuel, but you never know, I guess. So DJ will see the green flag here as he crosses the start-finish line. Might not have. Never know, I guess. So DJ brings it off turn 2 on his first lap. A little bit off the bottom groove. You'll see varying lines tonight. It just depends on where guys are fastest. You see not as much variation as we saw last week, but you'll see some guys run right down on the curbs. You'll see some guys run about a half a lane up. All depends on driver preference and where they can run the fastest time. First lap for DJ. The 49.990. Slid the back end out with carried speed off turn 1, so again, You see that on those short chutes out of turns 1 and 3, you can, if the back end slides out, you can hold a lot of speed still through there. Right now, he's 5th on the board. Pulls out of the gas just a little bit, slides it big time off 3. Rides it off into 4, got it loose again.
It's gonna hurt his time.
A couple of big slides are they're gonna hurt the lap time. $49.850. So didn't quite hurt the time as much as I thought they would, but able to salvage a pretty good lap. Next up on the speedway is going to be Marcus Miller. I believe if I'm looking at it right. I am looking at it right. First entry for a team I forgot to talk about last week. And that's my own team. So, Marcus, the first of, let's see how many, I think only 2 of my team's entries are out here tonight to qualify. It appears that way. Only 2. 5 entries slated to run for my new team, Thick Kick Motorsports. And Marcus is going to be the first of my team to make their run.
This new update has a lot of guys running varying lines on this track and really still trying to figure it out. I know we've done a decent amount of practice on here, but it'll be interesting to see. I know the high line works a lot better on other tracks. I'm wondering if it'll carry over here to race speed as well as what it did in the other track.
Well, one thing I noticed running practice, and I did get to run some practice, when you're in traffic, you have to lift off, you have to roll out of the gas a lot more than you do when you're running these hot laps, so the aero push with these cars in traffic is a real problem now. So maybe guys trying to break the dirty aero, run a little bit higher on the racetrack, I don't know, may benefit them, I don't know. Just kind of have to see as the race goes on tomorrow. Guys decide to run the racetrack.
We have a question for you here specifically. Who is on Thick Kick Motorsports?
Who is on Thick Kick Motorsports? Well, the 5 drivers are the one you see on your screen now. It's Marcus Miller. One you'll see later, Griffin Williams. Griffin's dad actually joined our team tonight. He's going to be joining us next week, starting next week in Bristol. That is Brandon Williams, as well as the first lap bandit, Derek Preston, and Justin Kane, last week's winner. That's my 5 guys for this season. First lap for Marcus Miller, 50.010. Well, you're going to be able to tell pretty quick. He's running the high line, so we'll see how it affects his time. Are you able to carry some more speed? We'll see. This is kind of...
Did carry a little bit more, almost up to 190 there.
Yeah, he's carrying a lot of speed. Running higher, it's not the shortest way around the racetrack. And if you can carry more speed up there, I don't blame him. Try something different. He's going to come down and complete his second lap, which is a 50.055. So, as much as it appeared to be a little bit faster, not quite. But, maybe he's trying it for race pace, seeing if he can actually hold the top line around the racetrack. Maybe he's experimenting. So... next up on track, it's going to be Logan Ikra in the 13. Other new look on that car, so he's had a few different paint schemes now. On with the Busch light colors this week. You'll start to get up to speed off turn 2 and down the backstretch.
Could be going for the same thing we've seen some other guys do here. Switch your paint and maybe get a little bit of extra luck for the race.
We have seen a couple of guys make their luck a little bit better by switching paints. We've got actually a few more guys that are coming into this week with new paint jobs. So we've definitely seen it work for Griffin Williams, so we'll see in a little bit. And on back-to-back top 10s now, moving his way up the points standings. As Ikra starts his first lap. See if it helps out the guys trying the same thing. I think we'll see what he does with the second lap, but I think what Logan is doing is kind of similar to what we saw Tyler Bentley do. You run the first lap a little bit slower, save your stuff, and run a quick second lap as your quick time. See here what he decides to do.
You know, with these big long tracks like that, it's got plenty of room to go experimenting, especially with this new build and the new way the car handles. So might as well just give it a try. I mean, if you're fast or slow, it's going to handle completely differently. So
definitely. Ikra across the line for the 51.56. Appears he's going to roll out of the gas here on lap 2 as well. So we'll see what time he gets, but
he is keeping it pretty low on the track, though, so that little bit of loss of speed might not hurt him that much.
Obviously, with things in place like stage racing and the way you have to race this racetrack, maybe he actually picks it up through 3, so I don't know. I mean, maybe tomorrow he decides to save and runs a little bit slower lap in exchange for saving tires for the end of a run. Second lap for him. Across the line with 50.422. So he did recover his lap. Tell him what he could have run if he'd have run 1 and 2, same way he did 3 and 4. Nonetheless, he's in 8th for now. Yeah, the other thing we have to talk about is pit strategy. We've seen pit runs go from anywhere from 14 to 25, 26 laps. With our stages being 30, 30, and 60, it's going to be up to the drivers to decide if they're going to try to stretch it the whole stage or cut it in half and run on green flag pit stops. So next on track will be Steve Corsack. So Steve Corsack will roll out onto the racetrack. He'll start his lap. He's been really fast during practice, so expect a pretty good lap from him here. He rolls out on the speedway. I would also like to note, and this is more for Peyton than me, or for any of you, we have had 2 late additions to our qualifying session. I don't think we're in the pre-made order. It'd be Matthew Fleming and Colin Bauer. So we're joined by a couple extra guys. And this has got to be our biggest qualifying field of the season to this point. I would think. This is car number 10 on the speedway right now. He'll take a green flag. Steve off into turn 1. Holy cow, he's...
Car's like a missile.
Oof. Oh, rode up a little bit in turn 2. We'll see how much speed. He was carrying a ton of speed down the front stretch. Good run through 3. Brings it down into 4. This is going to be a really good lap. Oh yeah, one of the smoothest turn 4 exits we've seen all night. First lap for Steve. Lap to beat, so 49.365 by Piedra. First one for Steve is a 49.495. So not quite as fast as I thought. We'll see what he can do on his second one, though.
That extra bit of speed that you get coming to your second lap really can cut down the tenths of seconds on these laps. So
yeah, we'll see if it does that. Maybe I was just discounting him a little bit. Yeah, I thought he was a little bit faster coming to the line. Oh, wow. Woo! Look at that. Jeez. He is sliding that thing out. Oh. Whoa. Is the stream still going? Okay, so I can. All right. I will take everybody through it as we wait to get picture back. So Steve runs a 49.495. It's his fastest lap. Who did you say was next?
hopefully this is just some issues due to the early patch they're gonna have tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this going. I'm gonna keep you guys informed on what's going on. We're gonna keep qualifying going just to kind of keep the order going. So we have a lot of cars left to go. So TJ, go ahead. We're gonna keep going. Just go ahead.
I will be rejoining the service here shortly, so hopefully we'll have some picture maybe by the time he's on his second lap here. Sorry about that, everybody. It's Iracing. As usual, we've complained about it pretty much the whole time we've been doing this. Servers are iffy. Yeah.
So TJ Roberts gets out onto the speedway. TJ is a guy that has run so well all season long, and obviously has had a couple of issues kind of plague him late in the race. So hopefully he can get his momentum back this week at Indianapolis. He's down the backstretch. He's headed down the backstretch to turn number 3, off of turn 3, headed for turn 4 now. Carrying a decent amount of speed. He'll bring it up off turn 4. He sees the green flag here in just a second when he crosses the start-finish line. And he'll begin his first of 2 qualifying laps. Lap to beat, still a 49.365 by Adrian Piedra in the 78. Roberts up off turn 1, carrying a pretty good amount of speed here. Off into turn 2, rolls out of it more than most guys have. See if maybe he's saving it for a second lap. Roberts down the backstretch. Headed for turn 3. Down the short chute. Headed for turn number 4. And he'll bring it off of turn 4 now, coming down towards the start-finish line to complete his first lap. All right, we've got picture back. Cool. We'll see here just in time to see TJ complete his first lap. Right there. Time coming in at a 49.989. Much better exit of turn 1 right there. Let's see if he can roll it over to turn 2. It's a little bit high on the racetrack, but still a pretty decent looking run out of turn 2 there. Stretching headed for turn number 3.
Not sure if he got the wall there.
He did not, I don't think. I can tell you he kept his speed similar, though. Which is kind of impressive, because the back end of that car was way out. Second lap for TJ Roberts. Comes in at 49.877. 7th on the board right now for TJ. Here's that way. Next car out there. Next car out there is the next Bentley Motorsports entry. Zach Camella. Guy we saw get caught up in a little bit of a mess last week. Caught up in a couple wrecks. Not the finish he wanted. And ends up losing the point. So they'll aim to get that points lead back this week, or at least have a really strong run for Indianapolis. The backstretch here on his out lap. It's for turn number 3. Earlier on in the week with the racetrack, he's not really fond of this place. Although usually once he has some time to learn it, it doesn't matter if he's fond of the racetrack. He'll get it either way. He starts his first lap. Off into 1. Oh, he caught the wall there. Car slides sideways.
Oh, no.
And into the outside wall.
I think we may see it. Not sure if he'll continue to drive this thing. I mean, putting a lap on the board is better than starting back.
He will try to limp it around to at least register a lap. I can tell you right now, it is not going to be the lap he wanted. Yeah, he smacked the wall out of turn 1, tried to ask a little bit too much of the race car. Caught the outside wall and spun it through turn 2. Bounced off the wall again, nose first. He will come to the start-finish line with a first lap. It will not register because he hit the wall. Well, he's going to run another lap.
Putting down a lap and getting on the qualifying order is still better than starting based on your I rating. Or starting in the back of the field. We're not sure how many more guys are going to end up having some incidents like this. So
I will say I respect the grind. So I respect the effort he's putting in.
If you ever wanted to know how fast a open-wheel modified car goes around here, I think this is about as close to what we can get.
Brings it off turn 4. He'll come down to complete his second of 2 laps. With a hurt race car. Zach Camella. It's down to 53.057. So not the run he wanted, I'm sure, but the run he'll have to here. Next on track is going to be Zach Lima, another guy who has run well all season long to this point. And well, for the majority of last week's race, kind of got mired back in traffic, ended up in a wreck late in the race. Zach is looking for a good run this week. Try to get a little bit higher in points. He's already well within the top 12. Always looking to get better. He'll start his first lap. The sun has come out, I believe, on the racetrack now.
Yeah, that's going to make it a little bit more treacherous on some of these corners, especially. It looks like it's peeking out on onto 3 or 2 there. 1 and 2.
I thought the opposite. I thought it was out in 3 and 4. So I don't know. Sun's in 2 different places. apparently. It's somewhere on the racetrack, I can tell you that much.
It will affect the qualifying.
There is a clear difference on one end of the racetrack.
I can definitely see it in 3 and 4 as well.
That's what I was thinking, is it's in 3 and 4.
Could help these guys, though. An issue with running this track is cold tires will really hurt you grip-wise going into some of these corners. So,
first lap for Zachary Lima is a 49.777. About 6th on the board right now, which is a little bit surprising. Zach kind of been really the fastest guy out here all week, at least in a hot lap situation. Kind of surprising to see him in 6th right now. We'll see if he does a little bit better here on his 2nd lap.
just been told that Zach Camella dedicated that lap to the first lap bandit, Derek Preston.
Oh, makes sense. He went for it. That's exactly what Derek would do. 49.4 for Lima on his 2nd lap. So he'll sit 2nd. And he does a nice little drift. Wow. Oh. Wow. Okay. I'm glad we have that on the broadcast now. That was impressive. Who's... Oh. Forward? Oh. Wow. All right, I'm out of it. I'm out of it. All right, so next qualifier on the speedway is going to be Clint Mcgill, another guy with a new paint job this week. A sharp-looking race car for Team Fist Racing. Second of their 3 entries to take to the racetrack. His teammate Michael Lanfear already put down a pretty good lap, 49.626, good for 6th on the board right now. We'll see if his teammate can follow in his footsteps. Obviously, still Matthew Fleming, their other teammate, still to come later on in the qualifying session. I think that the sun has subsided a little bit in 3 and 4, at least it seems that way. So I think the track is back under cloud cover. Just one of those things you have to keep an eye on is where the sun is at.
Yeah, it does look like the track temperature has dropped a little bit back down to 68 degrees.
Yep, so it makes the track completely different. Even if it is only on one end of the racetrack, it makes that one end of the racetrack totally different than it was for the last qualifier. McGill down the backstretch headed for turn 3 on his first of 2 laps. Lap time still pretty close together near the front, but overall, I mean, a little bit more spread than last week.
Comes with the territory of a track like this. You know, it's essentially a super speedway with 4 flat corners and hardly any banking, so.
It is a tough racetrack. First lap for Mr. McGill is a 50.336. Puts him in the top 10 for the time being. Off turn 2 down the backstretch on lap number 2. Best lap is still a 49.365 by Adrian Piedra. Gill's laps look pretty good, though. I don't think he clipped the wall there. 4, that's a solid exit. This is going to be a pretty good lap, I think. Down to the start-finish line, Clint Mcgill. At a 49.975, moves him up to 9th position. So our next qualifier on the speedway is going to be the 83 of Jared Sherlin. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Flashing like one of them twinkle lights at Christmas.
For a second there, he was blinking like my left turn signal. Other guy with a new paint job this week, Oculus colors, black and white, on the 83. On the backstretch, you'll see the green flag next time around. Still several guys left to qualify. I'm trying to figure out exactly how many. Not counting Sherlin, we still have 5 cars left after the 83, who slides it big time off turn 4 right there. Wow. Is running Indianapolis like it's a dirt track. Which, as cool as that would be, is not.
Indianapolis dirt, flag. Hopefully soon. Iracing.
Not sure how that would go. I'd like to say it would go pretty well. Just, I don't know.
410s at Indianapolis. We need it.
410s, I mean...
Talladega dirt. Something. No walls. Let's go.
All right. All right, now you're just getting crazy. Way he's running the track, though. Jared is dirt tracking these corners. Ooh. Brings it down into turn number 4. Look, I mean, you can tell the back end is slid out on that car, and he's drifting it through the. It's actually really impressive. He'll come down here to complete his first lap.
He's just warming up the tires, you know?
Oh, yeah, he's getting the tires heated up. That's what it is.
Yeah, he's definitely hit the wall, so that one won't count.
Yeah, that one doesn't count.
Hey, he might have.
Pretty impressive show of car control last time by. I was mesmerized. Solid through 3, keeps it off the wall. On turn 4, blinks. He's back. Dirt tracking off turn 4, and he brings it down towards the line. Second lap, hopefully this one counts for him. Jared Sherlin's second lap. Is a not count. I didn't see him hit the wall.
I do not either.
It was odd.
We may have to go back. It may have counted as an incident where he blinked out. So we'll have to go back and review his in order to get the starting grid set correctly.
We'll get to that a little bit later on. Next car on the racetrack is going to be the 99 of Jason Kelly. The guy who made his first start last week at Charlotte. Pretty well. Got involved in a late race wreck and barrel rolled down the backstretch. They'll start to roll onto the speedway. 15th car out there. Well, 16th. Still 4 to go after him. Slow rollout for Jason.
Hey, we've seen some guys do this. Take it a little bit slower coming out of the pits and a little bit slower on this outlap and save the tires and see if you can really go all out on the second one.
Start to bring that car up to speed here down the backstretch, headed for turn 3. Be trying to save tires as well. And if he's saving, he's really saving, I'll tell you that much. Comes off turn 4, he'll get the green flag here. He crosses the start-finish line. Yeah, he may be saving tires for his second lap. We'll see what he does here on lap number 1, but yeah, it appears to be what he's doing.
Could be a good strategy. We've seen the track kind of slow down is what it seemed throughout the course of this, so it might be a little bit more loose than what it was at the very beginning here.
Well, now he picks up the speed a little bit. Yeah, but rolls way out of it into turn 3. Let's see if he picks it up on his second lap. I'm willing to bet that's what he's doing. Typically, your second lap is the faster of the two.
As long as you can get up around the mid 180s by the time you're hitting the line, you can really set a fast lap here. So,
well, he's already passed the mid 80s, cross the line about 189 miles an hour. Oh, rolls out of it again. First lap was a 51.449 for him. I forgot to mention that. Now tries to get a little bit more out of it here in turn 3. Gets it loose, though. See when you get out of it in turn 4. Still getting loose. Wow, really loose.
Yeah, that's the issue with getting loose through that short straight between the turns.
Kind of messes up your entire corner, your entire 2 corners. Second lap's a 51.578. Just a little, you know. Just on the speedway is going to be, I believe, Griffin Williams, correct? I passed him. Oops. So Griffin will make his run here. Talked about it a bit earlier, coming off back-to-back top 10 finishes. And is quickly rising in the points standings.
Only 2 laps.
Looks like Jason Kelly's went for an extra lap here.
Oh, no, he's pulled off the racetrack. He's good. Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. You're good. Just go ahead.
Luckily, that's just on his out lap, so it won't hurt him too much there.
Draft helps you down the straightaway, but in the corners, I was talking about it earlier, the aero push is really bad, and when you're on a hot lap, it's not going to help you.
Yeah, getting aero tight there is really an issue whenever you're getting pulled through the corner. You don't want to slide up and hit the wall. That could really take you out.
A flat racetrack, it definitely is a lot tougher to deal with aero push than it is on a banked racetrack.
Not if your name is Colin Bauer, apparently.
Well, yeah, but Griffin may be trying to save here on lap 1. That appears to be what he's doing, at least. Runs up on the curbs. First lap for Griffin's a 50.777.
We know he can be fast here. He's shown us before. Oh, unless he gets loose.
Whoa! Wow.
here. That's definitely going to hurt him.
Again, it's in turn 3, so not really a huge deal. Does it again in 4, though. Second lap for Griffin. 50.44, so he improves on it. It's him 13.
At the end of the day, he can go home with his head held high, knowing that he did out-qualify Zachary Camille.
Well, so far, everyone has. So I don't know how much you can... I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much of an achievement that is. Well, we were supposed to end with Colin Bauer. He's disconnected. Well, maybe we won't end with Colin Bauer. I don't know. We'll see.
He may be back. It's hard telling.
It's pretty clear through driver chat that he can hear what I'm saying. So, see if he comes back. Now, it's Brady's shoe on the racetrack. New colors on the number 9 as well. Want the pink and green Mountain Dew Major Melon.
He has told me he will not be back.
Sweet. All right, he will not be back. Good. I told you. I told you he could hear what I was saying. So that said, I think we got 2 guys left, counting Brady. I think it's 2. Yep. We'd end with the Bandit if he was here. He'll be with us tomorrow night for the race. Brady up off turn 3 on his first lap. Towards turn 4. It looks like a pretty decent lap for him. I'm not sure if anybody's touching that pole lap right now, the 49.365. See what Brady gets right here, though. He runs a 50.16. And has to lift way out of it right there. Oh, it looked a little bit faster than that. I don't know. Maybe my eyes deceived me a little bit.
Could be a little bit of a change in the wind direction as well. It's hard telling. These guys, it does seem like guys are getting up to a little bit of a higher speed along the back stretch, so it may have switched and started working against them coming down the front stretch.
The wind is 5 miles an hour to the north currently. So. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Interesting.
We'll see.
Pretty shoes, second lap. 49.716, so definitely an improvement on the first one. And he runs 7th quick. He'll pull off the racing surface and we'll move to our final qualifier of the night, the third and final Team FIS racing entry. Beer Nuts Chevrolet of Matthew Fleming.
Beer Nuts.
Beer Nuts. Yeah. Do we? He disconnected as well. It is a shame. Our 19th and final qualifier is Matt Fleming. Matt ran really well last week. On a stage, I believe he won stage 2. Last week's race looked good in stage 3. Stayed out on the last caution, gambled to get the race lead, couldn't quite hold on to the race lead. Still finished well. We got himself some momentum coming into Indy.
We've also seen him be fast here at this track. During our practice, he was out in front by quite a large margin, testing the fuel limits of the car. Currently sitting with the longest lap count that we've seen so far here at Indy. So it'll be interesting to see how he carries that speed over into this qualifying and how he carries his pit strategy over into the race.
He ran 26 laps, I think.
24.
I only ran 24. Either way, furthest we saw anybody go. They can't make the end of the stage, it does not seem like, at least without cautions. Now, if we get yellows early in the race, it changes things a little bit. As far as we know, green flag run, you cannot make it 30 laps. So, either cut the stage in half, or pit late in the stage and risk losing a ton of time in the 10 laps you decide to stay out. Coming up off turn 3, pretty decent looking lap for him here. Turn 4 and off onto the front straightaway, down towards the start-finish line. First lap for the 88 of Matthew Fleming is a 49.889. So down the backstretch here on his second of 2. And heads for turn 3. Off turn 4, trying to get a lot out of it. All 4 he does. This is going to be a good run to the start-finish line for him. We'll see if he improves his lap. I think he's done just that. Second lap for Matthew is a 49.546, thrown to the top 5. So really, really solid lap for him there. He will bring that car down to pit road, and that means... Oh, wait. Now Jonathan Davis is back. So hang on. We'll see if he actually runs a lap here. Might. We'll see.
We might have a late addition to qualifying.
Maybe. Give it just a second, so bear with us here.
These guys do have 35 more minutes to get in here and qualify, even if the stream ends. We may have some late guys coming in. We had a couple last week managed to get in.
I can. Did just hear a car fire, so hang on.
Not quite loaded in yet.
It was not Jonathan Davis. See, I will take a second. So, while we're waiting on Jonathan Davis, we'll go through the rest of the order. Obviously, for now, Jared Sherlin is 19th. We'll see where he's gridded tomorrow night after his laps were invalidated. The wall on both laps. So we'll see where he ends up starting. We'll go through that more tomorrow during the race. But here are the 18 cars that registered a lap. On the pole for now is the 78. You're looking at him right there, Adrian Piedra. A 49.365. That's the fastest lap of the evening. Zach Lima in second with a 49.4, and we'll hold that thought.
There goes that man.
Here is the 158 of Jonathan Davis. His first start with us, I believe. We'll see what he can get done. We'll go through the rest of the running order, assuming it changes here once Davis is done with his qualifying run. Started his first lap right here as he sees the green flag. And heads off towards turn 1. Rolls out of the gas there. Still going to hold some decent speed out of turn 1. Onto the short chute, headed for turn 2. Jonathan, a guy I don't know that much about yet. So not exactly sure where he's going to kind of stack up here in the field that's qualified to this point. Off turn 4 for his first lap. He'll see the white flag when he comes down here to the start-finish line. First lap for Jonathan Davis is a 50.156. Off turn 1 onto the short chute. Into turn 2 and onto the backstretch. For his second lap. He'll bring it down towards turn number 3. Roll out of the gas just a little bit. Not much, though. Wow, if he didn't hit the wall right there, this is going to be a pretty good lap for him, I think. He got everything out of the car in turns 3 and 4. Second lap for him. 49.666.
Oh.
Wow, how about that?
The devil.
So he runs 8th quick here in his first qualifying effort. Now we'll go through the qualifying order. As they are right now. So still Piedra on the pole. With Lima second with a 49.4. Jacob Hopp in third. Steve Korsak outside of him on row number 2. Row number 3 is going to consist of Matthew Fleming in the 88 and the 55 of Tyler Bentley. Row number 4 is going to be Michael Lanfear and Jonathan Davis. Brady Shue brings up row number 5. Beside him, DJ Thomas. Row number 6 going to be TJ Roberts and Clint Mcgill. Row number 7 will be Marcus Miller and Nathan Bentley. Row number 8 will be Logan Ikra and Griffin Williams. Row number 9 will be Paul Ferdiani and Jason Kelly. And for now, the only car on row number 10 is Zach Comella. That is the 19 cars that set a lap. 20 cars showed up. Obviously, I already said it. Sherwood had a little bit of struggles on his qualifying effort. He'll try to get that back during the race tomorrow night. Same time as always tomorrow night. We an 8 o'clock start for us. And we'll bring you some pre-race festivities, some pre-race interviews, get to talk to some of the guys on the grid for our big event, 120 laps from Indianapolis, our Brickyard 300. Qualifying done for the night. I believe that's all I have. Thanks again to people who kind of make this stuff happen for you guys and for us. ACB Excavation, Supreme Ape, and D&D Plumbing. So a big thanks to them. And I don't have anything else. Peyton, do you have anything else?
Nothing here from me. I believe that is it. No more late qualifying entries, so
with that said, I believe we will sign off for the evening. Join us right back here tomorrow night for our Brickyard 300 on Twitch and YouTube. And we hope to see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good evening, everybody.